Hey, everybody, listen, welcome into the building. I'm here chatting with y'all, and I didn't even hit the go live button, okay? I know y'all was like, where's Diva? Because I'm usually always on time. And I did a whole story with y'all, and I didn't even hit the go live button. But we're live now. We're in the building, okay, everybody? So we're going to get this thing started. I really hope that y'all hit that like button, okay? I hope nobody's hopping this train. Now we're going to go right ahead and get into this thing because we got stuff to talk about, okay? We're going to talk about Kimmi and Kiuwha. Now those two individuals right there, Kimmi, we're going to have to talk to Kimmi. We're going to have to talk to Kimmi because for whatever reason, Kimmi had this conversation with Kiuwha and she really thought that the conversation went well, but Kiuwha played in her face. She played it right on in her face, and Kimmi just, thought it went well. But we'll talk about that. Stormi and Mel had a conversation, okay? And then we had, the Blaque Expo situation we got to talk about where Martell was in his feelings. Then we had a feel-good conversation with Monster Maurice. Courtney and his mom had a good conversation. And then we're going to talk about the Blaque Expo. And let me tell y'all this right here, right now. If you charging $100 for me to be at the expo, I'm going to tell you one thing. Don't come the day of in my face asking me about this money. Because I ain't doing that. You should have told me last night and asked me to cash app you. Don't be playing games with me. But listen, people, we're going to board this train. I'm ready to board this train, okay? Y'all know I need a water choo-choo. Thank you for that, everybody. Okay, because we're going to get into this. And remember, guys, don't catch feelings. Just catch the train ride because we got to talk, all right? So I need a water choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. We about to board this train because we got the people on the platform waiting, okay? It is Tuesday, and over here on Tuesday, we recap Love and Marriage Huntsville. So let me go ahead and board this train. We got a monthly ticket holder in the building. Hey, Robin.
Ooh, thanks for letting me on the train. I need to sit down from standing on that platform.
I'm trying to tell you. Hey, in my opinion. Hey, Dustin.
Hey, Diva.
Hey to Don. Okay, hey, Carrie.
What's
Hey,
going on,
Radio.
everybody?
What's going on? Okay, hey, Dr. Love.
Hey, everyone. Hey, Diva.
Hey. So listen, guys, we're going to go right ahead and get into this Love and Marriage Huntsville. And we're going to talk about first, initially, let me just say this. And then I'm going to get into this first scene. Let me say this to y'all. Y'all beat me down with 17-6. Y'all threw tomatoes at me, lemons. Okay, y'all told me I was crazy. But I told y'all Kimmi knew who she married. I told y'all that. I said Kimmi knew who she married. And she's getting what she's getting because she's accepting that. And y'all was like, give her some grace. Because she's going through a medical situation. And I said, regardless of what she's going through or not going through, she know who she chose. She know who she said I do to. So her man was like, regardless of what she's going through, I need to have my needs met twice a day. And everybody thought, oh my God, that's so messed up. But guess what Kimmi came up and pretty much said? She did a whole interview, people. You better go check it out. You better go check it out. She did a whole interview, and guess what she said? She stood by her man. I'm just going to just cut it short. She stood by her man. Just what I told y'all. She knew what she signed up for. And it is what it is. But we'll carry on and get into this first scene right here and with Kimmi and Kiuwha. Okay, Kiuwha is the ex-wife to Maurice. So they had the forced lunch because Maurice told them, y'all two going to sit down and talk. And like the good wives they are, they went to a dinner and they talked, right? And let me tell you, that whole time, Kiuwha was playing Kimmi out. Now, Kiuwha is different because she didn't seem like that confident when we first saw her. The first couple scenes, way back, when she used to come on, she seemed a little broken. But now, come on, Flip, stand by your man. No, now Kiuwha is confident. She's showing up cute. She ready for the scene, face beat. And she was sitting there listening to Kimmi like, what, girl? Kimmi told her, I felt like you was allowing the narrative of me being a side chick just go around and you didn't stop it. And Kiuwha was like, I was supposed to stop it. All right. And then she was like, I feel bad and this, that, and the other. And she's telling all her feelings. And Kiuwha said, well, if you feel that, I called you a side chick, I don't feel you was a side chick. And just like that, Kimmi felt like that conversation went very well. And then she got an apology. First of all, it was a sideways swipe to say that, what, Maurice wants me to make up with you. That's how I took that. So I'm going to go ahead and accept, yeah, girl, I didn't think you was a side chick. But that was telling me, yeah, you was a side chick. I know you was a side chick. But for the cameras and the TV, if you want me to go ahead and say you wasn't a side chick, okay, you wasn't a side chick. And then Kimmi wants to sit there and say, my son suffered because me and my son took the hit because I didn't want to stand up and say I wasn't a side chick. Well, Kimmi, you the fool. You the fool. Because I'm not bringing my son into no relationship and he thinking I'm a hoe and done stole somebody else's husband and I know I didn't. I'm going to call my son over. Jalen, listen, there's these rumors going around, but your mama and your mama ain't going to steal nobody's husband. So now his ex-wife spreading these rumors. Love your stepbrother, okay, Monster, but just know this, I ain't break up that marriage. So you want to take the hit, Kimmi. You've been taking the hit since the day you met Maurice, and you're going to take it to the bitter end because that's what you signed up for. Now I'm going to shut up. We're going to go around the room. Robin, what are your thoughts?
Good evening. My thoughts are all questions. The first question, why did these women agree to meet with each other? The second question, how is Maurice still running both of them, telling them where to be and how to be and what to do and what to discuss? Why does Kimmi think that after all this time that she's going to get an apology from Kiuwha? And lastly, if it's true or untrue or not true that Kimmi was a side chick, is it me or could this all have been squashed if Maurice stood up and said definitively Kimmi was not a side chick?
Well, Lene, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, but come on now, talk to the people. She didn't really say that she wasn't a side chick. She said, I never said that you were a side chick. She played her at that whole dinner. She played in her face at that whole dinner. That's exactly what she said. You are correct. Kimmi got played. And Kimmi, for whatever reason, thought it was a win. Okay? And it was nowhere near a win. It was an epic fail. And once again, you got played. Dustin, what are your thoughts? Okay, Dustin may not come off of mute yet. I'll come back to him. Carrie, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I feel like I wouldn't put this play title just on Kimmi. They both got played by Maurice. Because why are they even meeting? Because he said so. That's it. The end. I don't understand. I don't understand it. So, I mean, I guess people feel like Kimmi got played. I mean, if that's how you want to carry it, but they were only meeting because Maurice told them to meet, and they both agreed. I don't even know if they agreed to it. They just did it. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're puppets. At this point, so they both look silly to me. That's how I feel.
They both. Well, I'm gonna tell you why Kiuwha may have won like the battle in the war, so to speak, because she sat there, didn't even eat a piece of that food. Okay, didn't really say much. She just gave some facial expressions, and she gave her a half-hearted apology. Like, okay, girl, if that's how you feel, I didn't know how you felt that way, but okay, whatever. And my thing is, let me tell you why Kimmi also lost. Even if I thought for 1 minute that the ex-wife called me a side chick or felt some type of way about me, the ex-wife would never know. Never let them see you sweat.
But that came out. That already came out. They already discussed.
And
I
I
don't
wouldn't
even.
address it
But
though.
I don't even know why that's still a topic of conversation because that was talked about on the first couple of seasons.
Because
It was talked
Kimmy's
about at the
husband, who's
reunion.
always but Kimmy's husband, who's always playing her, said to her, "You still ain't over it, so I'm gonna need you to go to this dinner and address it and get your feelings out." That's why it's still out there. It's not still out there because of the fans. It's not still out there because Kimmy's talking to it about with him. It's out there because Maurice, the man of the house, the running this show, he the one that brought it up. Because you know what Maurice wants? Maurice wants these two to be besties so that Kiuwha could come in and out that house as she please to see Monster and do whatever it is, and Kimmi be okay with it. He wants when Kiuwha comes to town, she don't have to worry about a hotel because he knows that her finances is not set up as such. So that she can come stay in that house with them, and then Kimmi wake up and cook everybody breakfast. That's just
Okay, and where is Coward's husband? So that's what I'm saying. They
doesn't matter
all
though. Kim
they
doesn't matter. Carry
it does
decide.
it does matter. I would I I'm only dating.
Uh-huh.
If I know my man would tell me, I wish you would go stay at your baby dad's house. That's what so it does matter where he is. So he must be a non-factor, irrelevant. She's disrespecting him. Everybody all around is disrespectful. Everybody. My man
Well,
would tell
he's
me,
the
"How
same. But Carrie,
you're
imagine
not going to stay at your baby dad's house."
no. But just imagine this: he's the same man that when Maurice said that he would bring both her and her husband up there and set them up until they got themselves financially together. He's the same man that said okay.
So he's a simp. I'm going on mute.
Well, the Don, your thoughts?
Why was Kimmy so hellbound on this woman taking accountability for something that Maurice should have taken accountability for?
Come on.
She told this woman she didn't have any integrity.
Mm-hmm.
But your husband just had a slew of interviews talking about how much he pounds you while you on chemo. Does he have integrity?
Come on now, talk to the people. Talk to
And
the
then you say that she carried the narrative. What narrative? She didn't. I didn't ever hear her mention anything. Your husband is continuously bringing this same issue up,
Come on now.
wanting y'all to talk.
Yeah.
If anything, those two should have went to the strip club and spent some of Maurice's money.
Come on.
That's what they should have done.
Mm-hmm.
But Kimmy sat there trying to explain herself away. Like, come on. Like, you giving these buzzwords to her, but you're not even holding your own husband accountable for the stuff that he says and done and played in your face.
Come on, the Don. Speak to the people.
Like, I hate that. Like, don't be going to the other woman. Don't be going to the other man. Talk to your spouse. How about that?
It's in your house. It starts in your house. It starts in the house. And I would have told my man, even if I would have went to speak to Kiuwha, it would have just been about how we can work with Monster and do this thing better for the best, to work for the best for him. But like I said, there was no way I would have had some conversation about how I felt because I think that she called me a side chick. And like I said, Kiuwha trumped her because she said, I don't do no interviews. I never seen Kiuwha do an interview. That's facts. She said, I ain't out there talking to nobody. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. So how are you saying that I pushed the narrative? Now, it ain't my job to go out there and stop what the people are saying. They said what they said. But if you want to talk to me about my part in this situation, check this. I never did an interview. Did Kimmi say anything? She couldn't because Kiuwha never did an interview. I don't even know if she's on Instagram. So if she was really here for the shenanigans, just like all of these other ancillary people on these reality shows, they go around and do the interviews on the YouTube. Kiuwha, when I sat up in my seat when she said it, and I said, you know what? I never seen her on the interview. Never. So that's why in that conversation, Kimmi lost her stuff in a nice, calm way, and Kiuwha just sat there and sat back. And like I said, she ain't even pluck a noodle out that ball. Go ahead, in my opinion. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts is they both played Kimmy, and it's so sad. It's like
You see this educated woman, and you know she got a brain somewhere, and I'm just waiting to see when it's gonna click on, but it ain't. Like they both just played her like a little toy, and then they put her away when they was through with her.
Child.
Exactly.
They did. They did. But you know what though? Kimmy's allowing herself to get played. So she really all jokes
She is,
aside,
but that's the sad part. That's what I'm saying.
that
For
is
her
the
to be
sad
such an
part.
educated woman, you sit here and let both of them play you in your face on national TV. You wear this clown mask all the way around the world, and then you get on interviews, and then you still a clown for him. Oh, baby, I was too.
Yep, that part. Juice, what are your thoughts?
How many seasons are we in now? And we still talking about Kimmy thinking that she's a side chick? Why
Come
are
on
she?
This is,
now.
That
I think
part.
this is season. Deepa, what number is this now? Season 9, I think it is.
No, it's not that many. It's not that
You
many.
know,
I
Yeah.
think
why
it's
is she?
7.
It's supposed to be 6 or
Season
7.
7.
I
But
think
my
it's
point,
season
my
6.
point is, it's more than one season. So why is Kimmy still bringing up this topic? Kimmy is
That
really
part.
giving Kiuwha her energy.
Yeah, she is.
She is the wife. You are no
Mm-hmm.
longer the girlfriend. You
Right.
are no longer the whatever, if you wanted to call it side chick. You are the wife.
Come
You're
on.
supposed to be winning. You never give the ex-wife that much power when you become the wife, even if you were the side chick.
Come on now. Facts.
You don't do that. And I think Kimmy is putting too much into it. And because she's putting so much into it, it makes me think, were you
Come
the
on
side
now.
chick? And you
She
were trying to
was.
get somebody to
She
agree
was.
that you weren't because you are trying to get the narrative to be taken off. So it's kind of, curious to me. And if I was Kimmy, I wouldn't even give Kiowa a storyline in my show.
I
It would
wouldn't.
not. I would not
I
be her
agree with you.
storyline.
I agree with you, Juice. I wouldn't give her a storyline in the show no more. What she bringing to it? What she bringing? She ain't bringing nothing.
Yeah.
No.
Dr. Love, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so Kimmy, as we know, and Maurice was very boring. So to me, and I'm glad y'all brought up the point of her giving Kiuwha a storyline. It's like they both using each other. Kimmy using her for a storyline, and because it's like, what else is Kimmy and Maurice about to talk about? Chemo again? No, they don't got that much sense. But however, them Scots men seems to dummy these women down. Because when Kimmy first came on here, she wasn't this dumb acting. Over these years, she have became dumber, or exhibit to be dumber at this point. And yes, Kiuwha played in her face. Yes, she was a side chick. And Kiuwha, like, I'm never about to say you was not a side chick because we were still married when you were dating my husband. Whether I was trying to do the reconciliation or whatever, or whether he was, we was still married. You probably wasn't a super side chick, as we know, as they call the bird and coleslaw, but you was a side chick. And I'm not about to sit at this table and say you wasn't to appease you. Like, no, you were a side chick, and that's that. It's like, and then when you found out, it wasn't like you said, hey, I'm backing off of you until you sign no papers. No, you went on through, we don't know how many months, we don't know real timing, because 1 minute y'all together 7 years, then really 2, then really 5. It just all depends on what Maurice get caught in with
Facts.
Martell and Marsau,
Facts.
to when they were together. That's what that all depends on. So, and at
That's
this point, I just do not feel bad for Kimmy no more. When I really did, I've always felt bad for Kimmy. I felt bad for her in the beginning when Tisha was trying to train her. This how we have to be as Scott women. We have to dummy ourselves down.
Didn't she though?
Yes,
She tried to school her sister-in-law. Yes, she did.
Right. I felt sorry for her about that. She couldn't be male friend. She couldn't be nobody else friend. I felt sorry for her about that. Then she got a little dead and she got in Destiny, which I call her Dusty's face. So I said, okay, Kimmy, you trying to come through. But no, then she had the cancer. Okay, Kimmy, you coming through. But now here you go again. I got to dummy myself down for this hood. Like, no, just Kimmy, Get you a whole life and get rid of that man.
Whew. Emmanuel, what are your thoughts?
Well, I love Kimmy. I really
Mhm.
do. And I still love her. But I mean, we don't know what happened, but Kimmy knows that the way she entered the relationship wasn't clean.
Come on now.
Maybe she wasn't the like an official side chick, but
Uh-huh.
deep down she knows that she could that Maurice lied or something,
Right.
because the way
Mhm.
she was so adamant about I was not the side chick, that was screaming guilt to me.
Come on now.
I'm sorry, but it was.
Uh-huh.
And Kiuwha played her like a fiddle because she saw her sweat.
Mm-hmm.
And now I feel dumb because a couple of weeks ago we were over here fighting you, Diva, trying to defend Kimmy, only for her to be like, "Oh, I'm sticking by my man." So from now on, I don't feel bad for Tisha or Kimmy.
Mm-hmm.
That's their prerogative.
The real point I was trying to make is most people at some point, you know what you got. Whether they played you a little bit and didn't show everything to you in the beginning, there at some point in the relationship, you know what you got. Because Kimmy is always covering up for him. And for you to sit there and tell the ex-wife that you feel that your husband is constantly still putting her and her son over you, if Kyra was dirty and wanted him back, she could slip in because she already know one thing for sure, that man still got a soft spot for her because she is the mother of his firstborn, his son.
But that show you Kiuwha don't want him either.
Well, we don't know. I don't know. Something's amiss. I can't really put my finger on it.
The
But
set,
really, my
that's
real
it.
point is though
The set.
that you letting an ex-wife know that the door is still open.
Yeah, well they
Because you the one that sat there and told that chick, my husband puts you and your child over me. I mean, listen, respectfully, you got to be dumb, stupid, or both. I would never. I'm not. Let me tell you something too. And if a side chick come take my man, I'm never gonna let that chick see me sweat. When I walk out that door, I'm gonna be extra cute. When I see you, I'm gonna stand my ground. Now, when I call my girlfriend on the phone, I'll be hurt and crying, but you won't never see no shed tear out of me. You ain't gonna see a hair out of place. Oh, you want no. That's why I'm sitting there like Kimmy. You just this is a mess, and you doing it on TV on the cameras. Then you get in the confessional. You thought you won. I said, child, can somebody talk to her? And listen, she know better than Tisa. She used to act like she was so much better than Tisa. She's no better than Tisa. They both cut from the same cloth.
They trained them. They got Tisha first and then they got her. They trained them girls. This is how you become a Scott's wife.
That part. Carolyn said, I would never ever say this to my husband S. Come on, Carolyn. Like never. Never. Yes, Dustin.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this one time, and I want to make it clear. Diva was always right at the beginning. I was on Diva's side.
Oh my goodness.
I was on Diva's side. Diva was at the beginning, and I was on Diva's side, and I still am, and I'm always going to write for Diva.
You know that's my boo. You know that's my boo. Now let's get on to this next scene.
Teacher's pets.
Right.
Stormi and Mel. Listen, I think at this point, and it has nothing to do about liking or not liking Mel. At this point, I think Melody is ready to exit the building.
Bye.
To me, it is evident in every scene that she does, right? I just feel like she's ready to exit the building. And my thing is nothing worse than an employee that complains every day and they don't like it on the job. So I'd be like, well, then why don't you just go?
Why don't you?
Why are you making everybody miserable? Why don't you just go ahead and leave? Because you can't stand none of us. You do not like it here. And you feel that we all beneath you. So why don't you just go? Now I'm going to leave that scene. Wait till I come around everybody. Now we're going to add this scene at the Blaque Expo event space. Not the actual expo yet, but at the Blaque Expo event space meeting. Now, Martell was all in his feelings, and Martell was very messy. He complimented Tisa on her body, her booty, the fact that she in the gym working out and looking good. It was a whole hot mess, and he could not stop staring.
Payback.
But that is just messy to a whole nother level. Then he was in his feelings because Mel was bowed out. Then he's such a child that he's going to turn to Stormi and said, pretty much just sloppy seconds. The only reason why you getting invited to this expo to be a part of it is because Mel said she wasn't coming. Now, that was a whole hot mess. And see, if I was Marsau and Tisa, I would have invited everybody to be a part of the event. And did y'all catch this? After all that arguing back and forth, what did the flyer say? This is a comeback initiative. I nearly fell off my bed. I said, this is ridiculous. She went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, telling the people XYZ, only for at the end of the day, the thing is a whole comeback initiative. I cannot. They're so messy. And those two are all over the place. When I say all over the place, I mean all over the place. They have some really, really good ideas, but they need a strong person to help them pull the thing together. Every expo I was a part of, if you didn't put your deposit down for the table on one date and have the final payment by another date, you didn't have a table. And like Tisa said, now this is where I respect her. Now, Tisa is actually starting to stand up a little bit because she would have never talked to Marsau like this before. She said, first of all, we didn't ask for this money up front. And she said, now is not the time or the place to be doing it. So if you're going, that's what you're going to do. She said, you're going to go over there and do that by yourself. And she also told them, she said, there's several others, including our own business, that did not pay for a table. So you're being messy by going over there to Stormi and asking her for the money. And Stormi said that he was very low vibrational, and I agree with her, because that was not the time to be asking for that $100. Okay, so I commend her. She's starting. You know what's so funny? Kimmi is losing her voice and Tisa is finding hers. Ain't that ironic? Because at first Kimmi had hers, then she lost it, and Tisa didn't have one, and now Tisa has her voice. She finding herself. So maybe give it to her.
Maybe now, it's like, you know, when you're in those groups, they say if you have the paddle, then you can speak. If you don't hold the object, then you can't speak. So maybe they just pass it back and forth at this point.
Maybe that's what they're doing. I'm gonna start at the bottom this time. Emmanuel, what are your thoughts on those two scenes? Stormi and Mel, and then the Blaque Expo, just them going to see the event space.
Couple things. Number one, Melody and Destiny. Melody's time has come to an end.
You mean Melody and Stormi?
Oh, sorry, did I say Destiny?
You want Destiny back.
Melody and Stormi. Yeah, Melody's time has come to an end. The other people, she's not friends with any of them, and she's a star. So I think it's time for her to move on to better things. And also, I want to point out, when Melody was asking her about her mom, and she was like, well, my mom is just like that with everyone. Sure, that might be true, but nobody's mom is just going to talk about your friend if you didn't say something about that person to give her some idea.
Mama Joyce.
That's what I'm about to say. Mama Joyce do it.
Yeah, that's not true.
Mama Joyce do it on a regular basis. She can't stand none of Candy's people. She think everybody is out for Candy's money because she is. But anyway, continue on.
That's a good point. And then moving along, Tisha. I won't be honest. When I saw Tisha, I was like, "Oh wow, she's looking good." But even though she was looking good, I don't think that was appropriate for a business meeting because everybody was staring. But she did look good. But my question is, though, why didn't they invite Tiffany? I mean, say what you will about Tiffany, she has a good business mindset. I feel like she would have fit in this expo. So that's what I thought about it. But yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if Tiffany is out of a lot of stuff because she was good and pregnant by the time they was filming, all of these scenes or whatever. I'm not sure. And then the hard part I'm having with Tiffany is she shows several different sides too. So how can you don't know how to take her when 1 minute she's being super messy and then the next minute she want to be semi-professional. I don't know. I'm on the fence now with her. Dr. Love, what are your thoughts? Are you there? Okay, Juice, I'm coming to you.
All right, I'll start with Stormi and Mel.
Uh-huh.
I think Mel, the only reason why she's still on the show is because she doesn't have another show to be on.
Uh-oh.
Y'all know Mel likes the public. Mel likes the spotlight. And I believe if Mel had an opportunity to have her own show, she would be off for this one.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, she don't. So she's just going to stay there, and she's going to be the unhappy employee, like you said. Mm-hmm. She's going to be that unhappy person. What I think the other cast members should do is they should just let Mel, film by herself. If I was Stormi, I'd be like, no, I'm not filming with her. I film with everybody else. But c'est la vie. That's them. But I'm kind of ready for Mel to go also. But I guess Mel got some more stuff she want to promote. So we'll just see where that goes. And then as far as Martell with this money thing, first of all, Martell, does he own the home or is he still renting?
With
is
him
he still renting that home? Because here's my thought. Why would Tisha think that he would be collecting money for tables when he's not a good financial person anyway?
You talking about Marsau. You talking about
Marsau, right? Marsau. Marsau is not a good financial person. So why would Tisha expect for Marsau to be handling any money? Marsau owns a club, bar, whatever that is. He owns a construction company. He owns a wine, but he does not own a home. I would not put Marsau in control of any of the finances. I wouldn't do that. So if Tisha, you're the money person, you're the broker, you handle the money and just go from there. And that's all I have to say about those because I don't know about Marsau and Tisha them anyway.
And that part, in my opinion, your thoughts?
Okay. Ooh. Let me tell you something. First of all, I wish Stormi would get it through her head that this girl just don't want to be your friend. Okay, get it through your head. Ain't nobody finna kiss nobody behind and be friends with them. Okay, y'all ain't gotta be friends to be on this show. If Mel say she through with y'all, be through with her. Okay, ain't no way I'm gonna be climbing in nobody DMs to meet up with them, only to have this scene where we go around the merry-go-round.
Mm-hmm.
You got an issue with me? Tell me your issue. Otherwise, move on. Okay, I am so tired of this. This is supposed to be an ensemble cast. Okay, it's not no one star that's the lead of the show. And then, oh my God, Tisha and let me first say, Tisha has had a glow up. Okay, she definitely did her glow up. I don't know. Some of these fans must have got in Tisha ear, and she heard all them comments, and she done stepped her game up because she just like deuces. But Marsau is a whole hot mess, and Martell is a mess too. Because here's the thing, Martell, you sat here, you took this woman through. Well, y'all took each other through hell in a handbasket. Neither one of y'all should want to be around each other.
Well, the thing with Martell is that he's the type of guy that he doesn't really see a lot of his own issues. Do you know what I mean? He's oblivious to them.
But that's why the judge ordered him to have therapy. And so as a part of the therapy, you need to move on.
Go to therapy and still it doesn't hit you and reverses who you are just like that. Because you're talking about years and years, however old he is. And then you're talking about also that he got a mother that raised him and his own mother tells him on a regular basis ain't nothing wrong with him. So, sometimes a lot of people, they sit in a therapy chair and they get it in the moment. And then as soon as they leave, they're back to who they were and what they were, because it takes a lot of work when you want to change yourself. And every expert will tell you that you got to have consistent behavior for at least 30 days straight for change to even sink in and begin to happen. So my thing is, I think that, yes, he goes to therapy and in that moment, he's into it. and he's trying to put in the work. But then he comes back out to the outside world and he's back to being Martell, the Martell that he knew how to be his whole entire life. And then it doesn't help when there's females out there that they will accept the shenanigans even when they clearly know who somebody is. It's one thing to not know. It's a whole nother thing that you already know who this man is. And for his baby mother, the other one, Ariane, to still allow this man to come in and out of her life, I promise you this, if I was a fool, the minute you would have sat on TV and called me a peasant, let me tell you something, life would have been all good for me. There's no way on this earth, I promise you that I would be that desperate that you would ever even be able to dial my phone number and get through. You wouldn't be able to send a text, a telegram, tell my friend, because every friend that I had, when they see you, I would tell them to let you know that it ain't never, ever going to happen. So you have a lot of females out there where, unfortunately, their self-esteem is so low that having a piece of man is better than them having no man. And then hence, here you go, the rise of the Martells in the world that will go around and do whatever only because they will always have somebody that will accept it and allow it. Even me, Sheree, let me tell you this. I promise you this. I don't care how good that reality check is. If they needed me to play around and act like I had a boyfriend, it wouldn't have been Martell. I would have told them that ain't happening. Now you better go find me somebody from the corner, down the block. I don't care where you find them, but it ain't about to be Martell.
Yeah.
So
and sometimes what people do when they go to therapy, they learn how to suppress the issue, but they don't get rid of the issue.
That part.
So if something triggers that suppression, it will bring that thing back to existence. So therapy can help, but it doesn't always heal.
That come on, oh, you said a word right there. You said a word right there. And let me tell you this. Here's the other problem with the world, period. If aesthetically you look a certain way, whether you're a male or a female, most people will let you get away with murder. And I ain't saying this right. I'm saying it is what it is. And a prime example of that one guy that came out of prison and he became a model. Remember they called him Prison Bay? It was a very tall, light-skinned guy. He had really light eyes. He came out of prison. He had a whole wife while he was in prison that was holding him down. And once a picture of him went viral and they called him Prison Bay, he got out. He was a model. He went crazy. He left the wife. He got a whole new girlfriend that was mega rich, had a baby with her. So, you know, the world is a little jacked up too. But anyway, let me go on. Dadon, what are your thoughts?
The millimeter's about to get mad at me, but I can give two shits about it.
Yeah.
Mel can't take Stormi. Period. When Stormi sat at that table and held a mirror up to Mel's face and told her everything about herself, she couldn't take it. She said that she was good at avoiding hard conversations. We all know that to be true. She likes to run away or act like she's so dumb when somebody tries to, you know, ask her questions or hold her accountable for something. You know, she is just like, what, me? Huh? You know, and then she said, when Stormi said that she acts, no, she doesn't say her true feelings, but she acts passive aggressive, and always, no, she said there's no issue with her, but Mel acts passively aggressive when there is no issue. You know, she'll act like there's an issue by example telling a girl to DM her, you know, not giving her her number. That's passive aggressive. And then you have an issue with this lady's mom. Let me tell you something. If a mom sees a Mack truck coming at their kid, you think they're not going to tell them to get out the way?
Oh, child.
If everybody says you're dead, it's time to lie down.
Oh, my God.
Everybody ain't wrong, Mel. Everybody mama ain't wrong.
Well,
I'm listening.
We ain't talk
So
about mothers with common sense
so
neither. Let's think about that.
and then your mom does the same thing, Mel. Do you hold your mom accountable?
Mm, mm.
I haven't seen those "I Have a Dream" speeches to your mom.
Miss Vance on a whole nother level than them two.
She sits up there and she sputes her crap too, just like Wanda. Bring Wanda back. Team Wanda. Hashtag Team Wanda.
Oh my God.
And Stormi's mom. Mel's mom does the same thing. But see, she doesn't like anybody to hold her accountable. And that end scene was foreshadowing when it was just the rest of them moving on.
Mm.
Um, and when they did the walkthrough, they should have had Stormi there in the beginning. She's the most successful business person on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else got 50 businesses selling soap and deodorant.
Oh my God.
Come on now.
But she's the most successful person on the show. So she should have been there before anybody. And then Marsau asking for that $100. I mean, come on, bro. You can't be more tacky.
That part.
How tacky is that for you to ask somebody for $100? What did you need to do? Did you need to fill your truck up? Did Wawa have a sale on gas or sheets or 7-Eleven? What's happening? That you was begging this woman for $100?
He wanted a scene. He wanted to do a scene.
Yeah,
But it
Right.
was an
Right.
absolute miss because Stormi
Right.
she didn't even speak.
right.
Fall
But she
into
never
it.
falls
Right.
for it. She never does.
She never
And
does.
Marsau is not used to a black woman checking him the way she did.
Yeah.
Cause he was mumbling up, he didn't know what to say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If he
Yeah.
had that on a regular basis, he wouldn't act like that.
Yeah. Here's the thing though. I did vendor events. And never on the day of can you pay your money. Because they're not playing that because they could end up missing out on the
Exactly.
table. They could end up
Right.
missing out on the table. You put a deposit down so they know in good faith that you're true with it. And then they have a certain date where you got to pay the rest of that money. And whether you
Exactly.
show up or not, that table is paid for at the very least. They're not going to lose no sleep. I mean, it's a mess. I'm just so I can go in order. Let me jump back down. No filter. You're in the building. What are your thoughts?
I'm going to comment on Stormi and Mel.
Uh-huh.
I'm just going to comment on the expo thing with where they asked Keisha, like Martel told them, you're all asking her just because Melanie is not there to help you all.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, you all wasn't going to ask Stormi to come and take part in the expo.
Mm-hmm.
Also, are you talking about you're not talking about the expo event yet, right?
Not yet. So I'll come back
Yeah.
to Okay, Carrie, did I miss you? Did you go on this already? Carrie, did you go on this? Did you speak on this already? Okay, Dr. Love.
Okay. So the scene with I want to say Melody and Stormi.
Mm-hmm.
We forgetting about how Melody asked her a numerous of times to pretty much say to you, before you even asked to get on this show, to be on this show, before we became friends, you knew your mother did not like me.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you even want to be my friend, knowing that your mother had a negative opinion of me over 4 or 5 years ago, and knowing how your mother is, knowing I just went through a mother situation with Tisha's mother? Why would you even want to be somebody's friend like that if you know your mother is not that mother? If my
She
mother is,
reached out. She reached out to
Let her
Stormi.
finish though. Let her finish.
I was just trying to correct her.
Yeah, let
She
her
said
finish.
it wrong.
But let her finish.
no, it was her. It was Stormi wanting to be on that show, and then
No, she reached out to Stormi.
and,
So you thought,
In my opinion, let her finish though. Let her
and
just
then
finish.
secondly, Melody did reach out to her to do a video at her house to say come on, but it was all about Stormi even pitched her own show first, even after Melody did, and they said no. So, but anywho, so let's go to the next scene to pretty much say, um, so she sat there at the table and said to her and kept asking her, "Did you notice how your mother felt about me?" So Stormi had to go on and say, "Yes. If my mother felt that way about a girl, I'm not about to try to be your friend." And that's just me. So and then with me being on the other end, if your mother don't like me, I can't see my two best friends that I have, their mother not liking me. Like, I'm not about to be your best friend. Like, no, how are we even going to be best friends? Because your mother is going to be like an aunt to me, give me advice, help me through things, maybe even help with my children. So how's you about to be a friend or a best friend? No, no, thank you. So then moving on to Marsau trying to get
We
some
didn't get to
TV.
that. We didn't get to that scene yet. Did you talk about with the money at the actual expo?
Oh yeah, I thought
Yeah,
we was
we didn't get to that scene yet. So let me just get my top three people, and then I'll tell the last single scene so we can move on. But let me just throw this
okay.
out there for you, Dr. Love, so you can understand this. Stormi clearly said, "My mother ain't even like my own husband." So
Right,
if her mother, she already knows her mom. Her
right.
mom and Candy mom to me is one of the same.
Oh
They like
yeah.
no one. So
That,
pretty much Stormi thing was, if I was to go by my mom, I would have no friends. When she clearly said my mother didn't even like my husband, that already answered and spoke volumes to me, right? That means her mother likes no. She said my mother don't even like her own sister.
right.
When
Which
we
I
already saw the scene where
mhm.
her sister clearly said, if it wasn't for you, Stormi, I love you. Stormi aunt told her that, which is her mother's sister. She said, if it wasn't for you, I would be done, because she said, you know your mother's off. So
Oh,
if
yeah.
this was not usual behavior for the mother, if the mother just happened to not like Mel, but she liked everybody else, I might roll with Mel in that conversation. But Stormi clearly said, there's no one that my mother likes. She don't even like her own sister.
Which I understand all that, but I'm saying on the flip side, the type of person that I am, as if I'm saying if I was male, any of my friends, I don't want to be your friend if your mother do not like people. Like, that's not good for me. You understand? Me and my best friends, i I'm cool with their mother, I'm cool with their family, I'm cool with everyone. My kids know them, we're all like family. So when you think of a friend or a best friend, what is really a friend, I'm just saying on my end to say, no, I would not want to be your friend either. I don't care who your mother don't like. And if your mother got all these type of issues and gonna come for me as a young lady that's like to marry, because I'm married, I'm just saying me. No, I cannot be your friend because I'm going to never disrespect your mother. And your mother will almost force me to disrespect her if she off the hook like that. So
Got
no, I
you.
not be your friend.
Got you.
Sorry.
No.
No.
In my opinion, your thoughts?
Well, I just wanted to clear up the miscommunication. First of all, Stormy didn't even want to be on this show. Carlos King reached out to her to be in Bail Collective because he thought she was still staying in Mississippi, but she was in Huntsville. So no, Stormy didn't want to be on this show. They wanted Stormy because of her business. Mel reached out to her to have her video there and to do some promos with her company as a ambassadorship. Stormy already told you that she didn't want to be on the show. But then after she was on here, Carlos King reached out to her and asked her would she do it. So just let's get the record straight. Let's not put no false narratives out there. That's not true.
That narrative is not false at all. If you really
Oh,
look,
it's false
Okay,
because
hold
Carlos
on,
and
guys.
all the
Hold on,
and
hold
he
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I always say we're not going to attack any individual. We're going to have our conversations, because I don't want to do that. So we can all have our opinions, and that's fine. So you can put out your information, but move on. Let's not attack an individual that spoke. None of us know these people personally. We all got our opinions. We can have our opinions, and we're going to move on. We got two more scenes to get through. So just say what you want to say about the scenes, but we don't have to, like, I don't have to attack Juice Radio. It's not necessary, right? She
Right.
don't have to attack me. Everybody got their opinion about the situation. We're gonna state our opinion. We're gonna move on. So go ahead, in my opinion, finish up with your thoughts on the other scene.
That's all, Diva.
Thank you. Dustin, any thoughts?
What scene are we talking about?
Okay, I'm gonna come back to you, Dustin. Robin, any thoughts?
Absolutely. You know, we often talk about how Melody interacts with the rest of the cast, and it seems like we vacillate between her having relationships, real life relationships, and this being a job. And to me, at this point, I think that it's just her showing up to work. You know, I know that I've worked places where I haven't liked everyone, but I show up. I don't ask how your wife is, how your kids are, how the dog is, because I don't care about you personally. And I think that that's okay. And I think that that's one thing that we kind of miss. It is very clear that Melody does not care for these people for whatever reasons, and she's acting accordingly. She's showing up to work so she can get her check. I'm trying to figure out why Martell is so trying to be so messy. I don't know if he was being messy or trying to have a moment when he called Stormi sloppy seconds. That was foul and
Yes, it
unnecessary.
was.
It
Yes,
was
it
so
was.
unnecessary. And
Okay.
I think that's we haven't gotten to the $100 yet, right?
No, we didn't get there. I'm about to
Okay,
do those
then
out. 1 second, Dustin. Go ahead. Robin.
No, then I'll stop there then.
Okay, Dustin, give me a minute. I'm gonna come to you. Let me just give you a scenario. I get it. There are some jobs that you can not like everybody and come there and do your job and all will be well. Let me just say this. There are other jobs where no, you either got to get along with the people or you can no longer work there. I'm gonna say for a fact, nursing is one of them. Right. And I used to tell people all the time, if you're not getting along with your coworker, then you cannot work this shift because there's going to be a problem. Because if it's a cold in room 202, and they call a code and you don't go in there because you don't like your coworker and somebody family met them dead, there's going to be a problem. So we did all types of team building or whatever. Y'all need to get along. There's certain jobs where there's hands down, you got to get along. It's
Right,
a
this
point
is not
blank in
one
the
of them.
but I'm just, let me finish, Robin. But the point I'm trying to make is that this is a reality TV show. And if you want to do, you got one or two things you need to do. Either get along for real, or pretend and act. Because they act out different things all the time. They play in our face all the time and make different stuff up. So, but what you can't do is sign up for a reality TV show and then want to stick it to everybody, because that's a sure sign of how you're not going to be on the next season. All of these reality shows, the key thing they always say is, once nobody wants to film with you, I can no longer have you on the show, because who you going to film with? And then when you do film, if it's going to be stupid stuff, then I don't need you here. So in reality TV, I can get it, maybe an average job. You don't like somebody, you can change your shift, not work with them, do what you got to do and not interact or whatever the case may be. But then there are some jobs where you're going to have to figure that thing out. And I do believe, in just my opinion, that reality TV is one of them, because I heard Andy Cohen say it over and over again. Nobody wanted to film with so-and-so, so they had to go. Because what am I going to do? What scene am I going to have? That's why a lot of these girls, when they want somebody off the show, they try to ice them out. They try to ice them out for the simple fact of they know if they ice them out and they don't film with them, then what are they going to do? They got to go. So I think that, listen, and the thing is, I don't have anything against Melody, but I think you got to learn how to play the game. I think you got to learn how to play the game. And I think with all reality stars is what they need to understand is that once you are a reality star, you're not Angela Bassett, right? And I'm not saying this to be disrespectful, but with reality TV, for the most of them, when they off that reality TV show, out of sight, out of mind. And they don't have the same power, so to speak, out in the world when they're no longer on that reality show. And I'm telling you, if you look in the history of most of these reality TV stars, Once they're out there for a minute and the opportunities dry up, that's when they start a begging and a knocking again on these reality TV doors, because they realize that most of their power stood when they was on the show. And my thing is, you have a great opportunity. You got a platform. Use the platform well while you're on it. Make the most of it. But just going to every scene, showing up like everybody else is the problem. And listen, this is for anybody. I say, when you are really in your life and you have 5 people and you feel like they're all the problem and you're not, then that's a problem. That's a problem. Like literally, okay, so maybe me and one person don't get along. All right, I push the envelope. Maybe me and 2 people don't get along. I'll push the envelope a little bit more and say maybe me and 3 people don't get along. But when you got a situation where there's 10 people in the room and you get along with no one in that room, maybe you got to look at yourself.
Right.
Just maybe. That's all I'm saying. Dustin, what did you want to say?
I wanted to add on earlier. I agree with the Juice Radio, because he said that Melody wouldn't even be here if she had her own TV show, and I agree with that. I don't think she would even be here on this show, and if she gets her own show, she wouldn't be here. She don't give the show what they want. I don't think she does, but maybe you do. But I don't think she gives the show anything. To be honest with you, Diva.
Right. Thank you, Dustin. Okay, so let me get to these last 2 scenes. Okay, the first scene I want to get to is with Monster and Maurice. I really feel like Monster is such a really good kid in the midst of this jungle that's going on, right? I felt like that scene, whether we want to call it forced or not forced, or Maurice playing games, I felt like it was a really nice scene. And it was the first time I actually saw him smile when in the presence of his dad and having a conversation with his dad. He smiled and he told his dad, listen, how can I tell you everything and I'm still trying to figure it out myself? And I feel like Monster has more maturity than the parents that are trying to raise him. Because every time I see this young man speak, you know, to me, he's never getting smart. He's telling facts. He's trying to understand. And I'm telling you, hands down, all the little teenagers I know, on bare minimum, you got to tell them 3 to 4 times to clean the room, wash the clothes, put the clothes, make sure the clothes actually get into the laundry basket or whatever the case may be. I just feel like it's stuff that they all do, point blank and period. I don't think he's doing anything extra than any other team. And I think that he has it harder because he's living out his teen years on a reality TV show that's messy. And can you imagine being on a show where your mother is being seen as if like somebody took your father from her and all of that nonsense that's going on? And then when Tiffany came on and wanted to out you on the show about vaping. So this young teenagers, period, have trouble being a teenager just outside of reality TV. He has to be a teenager on reality TV where it seems as if the people that are raising him act as if he is so out of control because he's not doing chores. But my thing was, the whole point of that was I finally saw a father-son real moment in my eyes with Maurice playing basketball with him and allowing him to say his feelings. And Maurice said, you know, I'm going to try to be there for you more, so forth and so on. I really enjoyed that scene. And I just feel like Monster is a good kid. And they need to back off of this narrative that he's so out of control because he doesn't get up and take out the garbage, wash a dish, and clean his room. I think they need to stop. And I really vote for that he doesn't even show up on any more of these scenes on this TV because I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's helping his growth, but that's my opinion. Now, the scene with Courtney and his mom, that scene was so heartfelt and so real. And I really got to know more about Courtney. And it's interesting to me how your childhood, if you don't kind of get the proper counseling or whatever, how it impacts in a big way your adulthood. His mother, now, do you want a reality TV mother? She did the darn thing, because I feel like she loves Stormi. She loves her son. She gave her son really good advice. She supported him and she supported his wife, all within a moment, because she said to him, I understand how you feel and why you don't want another child, but did you consider your wife's feelings too? And she said, you're a good father. And he was still hurt because his own father wasn't in his life when he was a child. She embraced him. I just love the scene. And I feel like if reality TV gives us more of those moments, then I feel like that show would win, right? And a lot of us say that, you know what, maybe people wouldn't watch. But just like we said, we teach people how to treat us. Reality TV has taught us to like this over that. And so maybe if there's a show that comes out and it's a little more feel good and not this nonsense, maybe we can embrace it and love it. Because I feel like Courtney might have helped in his mother a lot of men in that particular scene, because he was vulnerable. He was okay with sharing his feelings, and his mom, really a great person. Because if I'm not mistaken, at the Blaque Expo, that was his mom that was standing next to Stormi saying everything is going to be all right. Your husband, he got that over there at the warehouse. Focus on this event right here and pulling everything together. So I just love both of the scenes, Monster and Courtney. Now, when it comes to the Blaque Expo, I think sometimes when you do throw your first events, you are going to probably be a little loosey-goosey, right? So I'm going to give them grace in that sense. So in that particular sense, it wasn't that bad. I mean, we still got to see part 2 next week, but it wasn't that bad. But the other problem I have is the person that was helping them didn't really have it together either, because at the last minute, she was still letting more vendors sign up. Girl, you got to know your spacing. Okay? And you should know ahead of time that only 10 vendors are going to fit in here comfortably. And so if only 10 vendors can be in here in a comfortable situation, even if the 11th person call me, I can't just say, yes, you can sign up. That chick was taking vendors up into the 11th hour. So she messed up. Then they had to come there and refigure the space. And you're supposed to have tables with tents up or some sign up to say Stormi's table, this one's table, that one's table. So nobody doesn't just come in there and willy-nilly take a space. And I ain't mad at Stormi. She set that darn thing up. You knew she was in the building because she had a whole back corner with her canvas beauty. Okay? So my thing is, they could have done better, but it wasn't the worst thing ever, being that was their first expo, until we see next week. But what it seems like right now, I felt like they did a pretty good job, right? So that's pretty much it. I think Marsau was trying to have a moment for TV, because I really feel like now Marsau is just playing up for the TV, because he likes the money that they're getting from Love and Marriage Huntsville. He likes what all of this is doing for their lives and how it's elevating their lives. And I think that any moment he can, he's just going to have a TV moment. Because for him to walk over there and ask Stormi about that $100, I don't think it was necessary. Like Stormi said, very low vibrational. And then, even when Stormi went over there and walked to Tisa, and she told Marsau, get your hands off of me. I know that's right. She said, get your hands off of me. She said, your husband is a mess. He's messy. And he's really messy because his wife already told him, we messed up. We didn't ask them for the money. We didn't say. We said it was voluntary. Like you can volunteer. So how do you now come to me talking about $100 when you never got it straight? And like Stormi said, the day we was doing the walkthrough, you should have said the table's $100. So Marsau was a mess. It was messy. I'm gonna go ahead and I start at the top this time. What about those 3 scenes that you want to comment on, Robin?
I like to start by saying that I really do feel for Maurice Jr. Because as he was introduced to us, the audience, he was already thrown under the bus. He was already a pawn. So he was set up from the beginning to be portrayed as problematic.
Yes.
So that's an issue I have. I personally, I have such a low impression of Maurice Sr. that you probably have to hang me by my toenails for me to believe anything that he presents. So I didn't get the warm and fuzzies when I watched him playing basketball because a lot of the discussion was conditional. I thought that the things that really struck me was when he told his son, you can talk to me about anything. And the son seemed surprised, like, for real, I can talk to you? And I said, what the hell has been going on in your house? That the kid is like a million watt light bulb went on, like he shined the light on himself and say, by the way, I'm your daddy. And you can talk to me. That bothered me a lot. And it also bothered me when Maurice Jr. asked him if they could go get something to eat. Because it wasn't just like, y'all hungry, do this. He was like, can we like go out someplace? Like that's like an anomaly. Like, ooh, we see Maurice and Kimmi go out. And so for me, I found Maurice to be problematic still. I felt like he was caping for the cameras. And I just don't believe that he's authentic. I don't believe that he is serious about teaching and mentoring his child. I believe that it's all for show, and I just don't like him. I decided based on who I see on the TV.
Right.
Also, I really did enjoy Courtney and his mother. That scene, again, like you, Diva, I believe that was 100% reality. And I have said from the beginning, I do want to see that kind of stuff. I don't like the mess. I don't want to see people fussing and fighting. And I do believe that more people would tune in if you had true heartfelt moments, if you had these discussions. I can relate to considerations of being a parent more than I can relate to going out with a group of women and seeing them throw food and drinks in each other's face and cussing people out. And I think that that's what we need. Now, about the Expo, the first thing that struck me when they were setting up is the fact that where was Tisha and Maurice? Where was anybody from the comeback group from, the original 6? Nobody was there. Listen, I'm there first.
Right.
I'm there first. When we have our Martin Luther King thing, it's always the coldest day of the year, and I'm always standing outside the door at the NYCHA houses where we have our event, because I'm gonna be there first because I need to set up. I need to be sure people doing what they need to do. Period. Point blank. And that's it. Maurice, you're right. He just does things Marsau, he wanted to have a moment because if you really listened when he was talking about that $100, Tisha said to him, we said, if you are part of the planning, and at the point at which they brought Stormi in at the walkthrough, she was officially sloppy second. So she was not bound by paying any fee. And you're right about the whole setup. And I'm going, how are they going to keep cramming tables and people in here? Where's the fire marshal going to, when is the fire marshal going to show up if they have people to come to the event? It was, I hope it comes off well, but it was definitely disorganized from the start. Period.
Yeah. Yeah. Keisha, you know what? This is a fact. Maurice and Kimmi have taken the heat off of Marsau and Tisa this season. They sure have. You telling some facts right there. Dustin, is there anything you want to add to the conversation?
I just want to say that I agree with Robin and the things he said, and I was hoping I hope that things get better for them all.
Thank you. Thank you. You know what I want to add to? Somebody said it. I think two people said it. Yeah. Marsau was kind of jealous that Stormi had her stuck together, that she took up all of that space. But again, use your words. You mad that she took up all that space, but it's too late because you should have had this space mapped out. You
Right.
should have told the people ahead of time, you getting an 8x11 table and you going to get something to plug something up. And that's all you get. So they messed up big time. And you know what's sad about messing up? Because now you can Google everything. How do I throw an expo? And a whole list of stuff will come up. How do I give an expo? How do I set up vendors? Do I give a contract? You can even get a contract online if you don't have one.
Right.
Show you a sample contract, and the first thing they tell you is have the people pay a deposit and then pay the rest of the money, but by this day or they can't have the table. I mean, like the silliness of it all. When you fail in this day and age with the internet, it's because you want to fail.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my way, but in my opinion, did you go yet?
No, she didn't.
Okay, in my opinion, are you there?
Diva, come back to me.
Okay, no problem. Emmanuel, your thoughts?
Yes. I really liked the Maurice and his son scene. I think it was very genuine. I really liked the Courtney and his mom scene.
Yes.
I never really cared for Courtney like that, but I still really appreciated it. And I felt so bad when he started crying. Like he couldn't hold it in any longer.
Yeah.
And his mom was great giving that advice. It's about time that we have an unproblematic mother on reality TV.
Come on now.
And she looks young. I don't know if it was I don't know what it was, but she could pass as his older sister. Like she looks really good. This Blaque Expo, oh my. Tisha was running that like if it was a school bake sale. It was such a
That's
mess.
true.
Now the ending though, I'm taking it with a grain of salt. I think that was staged because I don't think there's no way that will happen in real life. And if it did, it was ridiculous. But I will say, let's just say that it was real. I think Stormi, what she should have probably done to shut him up and like put him in his place was probably take out $100 and give it to him. I think she would have looked like the bigger person, and it would have. I don't know. I feel like she should have done that.
First of all, I don't carry cash on me like that. So at best, I might have been able to cash app you or Zelle you, but she had a point to make. This is not how you do business.
Absolutely not.
I'm standing here setting up. I'm sweating. I'm nervous. I got a whole production going on over here, and you interrupt me to talk about some $100. That's not how you do business. You better get out of my face, because when you asked me at the 11th hour and I stepped in and told you, yes, I was coming, there's no way you're going to be in this event on the day of in my face talking about some $100. And it's really the principle, because yes, for an event like that, $100 vending space is nothing, especially if you bring people in. But now I'm concerned about how they advertise for the thing. How many people are going to walk through there? Because when you do those expos, you tell the people that, you know what, I'm guaranteeing you that maybe 100 people are going to at least walk through here. Or maybe 200 or whatever. And listen, I'm no expert, but I've been in plenty of these vendor events, and I've never seen it run the way that they ran theirs.
Right.
Exactly.
But I feel like she could have she could have gone to her bag, get the $100, been like, this is not how you do business. This is unprofessional. But if it means that much to you, then here you go. She would have put him to shame that she done that, because what she did was start to argue. So now it just looks like two people arguing. But
she actually kept it kind of classy.
Yeah.
She actually kept it kind of classy, because, I would have been like, you need to get out my face. Because I'm setting up my stuff over here, and I'm not dealing with you in this $100 right now because y'all didn't get it right. My real problem with him is his own wife told him it wasn't right.
Yeah.
Not to do it. But I hear what you're saying. Juice, what are your thoughts?
Well, about the expo, I think that it's probably good that Stormi did not give Marsau the money right then. I'm sorry, Martell, whichever one it is.
You were right, Marsau. Mm-hmm.
I think it's best that she didn't give him the money right then, because that's going to put an imprint in his head to remember on the next one to go ahead and get the money up front. Because if Stormi would have went ahead and just went in her wallet and took it out and gave it to him, he would think that he can do that for the next expo.
Mm-hmm.
So by her doing that, it's going to put that imprint in his head. Okay, I need to make sure that I get this money next time. And then I'm just going to comment on Monster.
Courtney. Oh, Monster. Okay.
Monster. I'm going to comment on Monster.
Okay.
I had to write some notes here. My first thing I said for Monster is, did Kimmy's son do all those things that she want Monster to do?
Woo. Yep. Woo.
I just have that question because sometimes we put more emphasis on the man's other child than we put on our own. So that's just my question. She may not, but also I put I'm not even sure if Monster even wants to live with his father. I think, and this is just me personally, this is not Diva's channel, this is the Juice commenting. I think Maurice has his son on the show because he knew, of course, the show is coming on, and he wants to try and be that exemplary father. He didn't want people to find out that the son was living with the mother, especially knowing that all these allegations were coming up about, allegedly Kimmi was the side chick. So I think it's to me, I think it's a ploy that he did it for the TV to have the son there. Now, people may say, well, he wants the son to live with him because he's a young man and he's the father and he should raise a child and it's better that he raise a child. Well, it's not always best that the father raises a child. I don't agree with that at all. And I was a single mother. I think what is best for the child is to be able to be reared as comfortable as both the children, as the children can be, as well as the parents. So I think that every time I see Monster on the show, I get this, that he's uncomfortable. I get this uncomfortable feeling when I see him on there. And I think he would rather be with his mom. And I think they really, as a family, they need to look at all that, especially when Kimmi was saying before that, she didn't want to be the one that's babysitting him. So that lets us know that Maurice was not going to be the one that was spending time with him. And for him to say he wanted to just go to dinner, can they go and get something to eat? That says a lot. I don't think that he is spending the time with him that is the quality time. The kid didn't say, can we go to Disney World?
That part.
He said, can we go get something to eat?
That part.
And how many scenes have we seen where these couples and people have been out eating at places?
Exactly, Regina.
So I think, thank you, Robin. I think that they need to really have a conversation with Monster as far as what does he want? Where does he feel comfortable? Because if they're saying that he's acting out, he's not doing his chores, he's not doing this, he's not doing that. First of all, did you teach him what chores are to do, or you just imagining thinking this is what he's supposed to do? You have to teach these children what they're supposed to do. And I think they need to focus on what is best for him, because if he's acting out, it could be because he's not happy where he is.
It's a lot, right? And it's emotional because you feel and see different things when you're watching the screen. But I'm voting not because I don't want to see him, because I think he's grown up to be a very handsome young man. But I'm just voting that, this may not be what he needs to be on as the TV. And then I wonder, then what would be the story for Maurice and Kimmi?
Well, they can go and get Kimmi's son and go continue to have a story about him.
That part. I'm just, I'm messing around. You understand what I'm saying? But what you want to know what's funny? Where is he?
Right.
Where is he?
After he bought the house, where is he?
Where is he? Where is he? Right? And at least he's grown and can handle it. But where is he?
Right.
Carrie, did I come to you? Okay, let me go. Didon, what are your thoughts?
Kimmy's son is living his best life. Every week, that boy on vacation somewhere on a jet ski.
Okay.
So he ain't paying attention to but Courtney and his mom. There's nobody in the world that can break down a black man like his mom.
Yeah.
Nobody. She took him back to his childhood, a place that he needs to heal.
Yes.
But she took him way back, and he tried to hold it together, but he just couldn't.
Yeah.
Because his mom knows the story, and I just want Courtney to be a little more open to Stormi about having another child, whether it's surrogacy or adoption or anything. Because like she said, he's a good father, and we need more examples of good fathers to to kids. So I hope he listens and opens up a little bit more about that, about her wanting another child. And his mom planted the seed, so maybe he'll take heed a little bit more now that his mom has said it. And his mom just didn't jump on his side.
That part.
So I was grateful to see that. Now this Maurice and Monster scene, I want to be glad about it. I want to be happy. I want to say good job, Maurice, but something in the stew ain't clean. Is this your first time working out with your son on the basketball court? Is this how long has it been since you spent quality time with this boy? Because him going out to eat, asking him to go out to eat, I don't think it was about the food. I think it was about spending more time with his dad. Because he doesn't get that one-on-one time with him at all. He doesn't get, it's always the show, it's always work, it's always Kimmi, and he wants that one-on-one time with his dad. I think if he had that one-on-one time with his dad, then he would feel that way when his mom came.
Yeah. Whew.
Because maybe his mom gave him that time.
Absolutely.
So that's I think it was more about the time than the food.
Yeah.
And to the expo, Stormi had the whole corner. If that's worth $100, everybody else had these little tables. So and it's not like she said that she wasn't selling anything at the expo. She was giving away things. She was giving like her products. She was giving them away. So she had the whole corner set up. She wasn't making a profit from that. So why are you still handling her?
Right.
Like she needs to give you this money. If I was Stormi, I would have told him, call my accountant. Because she ain't, like you said, who carries cash? I'm not gonna cash app you. You need to send me an invoice, because I believe Stormi is about her business.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, send me a proper invoice, and then send me my tax form.
Yes, come on now.
Because I'm writing this off.
Right.
Every product that I give away, I'm writing this off. So he wasn't prepared for that. And I know the Bible says thou should not covet anybody else's wife, but that black woman, that chocolate woman, looks good.
You talking about Tisa?
Tisa looks good. And Martell should have held it together a little bit more.
He couldn't help it. He couldn't help it. He couldn't help it. But then he said it. Then he said it again. It was like, dude.
Yeah, I was like, come on, man. And that is the funny thing. But that when you have your homeboys talking about your wife like that, it depends on how close you are to them.
Right.
Sometimes it goes off your shoulder. You don't, you don't count it, as him trying to take your wife or anything like that. Sometimes it make it puffs your chest up a little bit. So, I understand why Marsau didn't take, too much offense to that. I would have took offense. Maybe he would have said it another time. We had maybe just a little bit of words, but I think it was, he was trying to be funny and playful a little bit with it. But there's still a time and place for it. But
I think all of those men on the show, they know each other. And see, they have the formula for a good reality show. because all the men were running together before that show even started.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good formula. And I think, to your point, Danon, that's why he really didn't take, Martell really that whatever. He just was like, knock it off. That's my wife. Because they know each other. He probably know the core of him. But more than that, Marsau knows his wife. He knows
Right.
and he know his wife ain't. Listen, Tisa will not be caught dead with another man.
But let me tell you something. He better start appreciating her, because
He
if she
better.
stay in that gym, she listen. Somebody else gonna speak good words over her, because he ain't speaking good words over her.
Yeah, you know what though? I appreciate it too. I like, it's unfortunate that, like I said before, these reality shows bring out the worst in them sometimes. Because I also like how Stormi joked that she said, "No, I'm looking too," and she admitted too that Tisa was looking nice and in shape or whatever the case may be. So I thought it was of course Martell, because he always pushed the envelope and go too far, but I thought it was a cute little playful thing, especially when Stormi joined in. Juanita, you're in the building. What are your thoughts?
Hi,
Hey.
everybody. Well, first of all, I think what Maurice did with little MJ is something that he should have been doing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He should have been showing that child some love and affection, because that's all he want is love from his daddy, love from his mama, even a little hug or two from Kimmi.
Well,
So,
okay now, don't start nothing now, but you are correct. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
well, I mean, tell the truth and shame the devil.
Oh shoot.
But that's all he needs. It's just somebody to make him feel like he's loved,
Right.
instead of feeling like he's thrown away, a past here and past there.
Right.
Okay. Now, about the jean scenes, did y'all notice that Marceau, when they were walking out, he got in the back of Tisa. He stood behind her
Mm.
after all the
I would have stood
compliments.
behind her too.
Yeah, he sure did.
But oh, okay, and as far as Courtney and his mom kind of favors Stormi a little bit.
She does, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
But I
what a
thought
lot of men they say a lot of men end up getting
women
wives that
wives like
kind
their
of,
mom.
yeah.
That's what I thought about when I saw her. I said, "Oh, she
Mm-hmm.
has some features like Stormi." But
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a good thing with him sitting down with his mom and him being able to break down and really show his feelings. Now that's reality TV.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the last scene, oh man, that was a hot mess. The expo. I
Mm-hmm.
don't blame Stormy, but did you hear Marceau when he went over and asked Tisa who was gonna pay for all those balloons? He told her not to order those balloons, and then that's when he went over to Stormy, asking about the $100. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like Stormy, I would have told him where to go.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, Stormy did it in a nice little nasty way, but I
Mm-hmm.
would have told him where to go and where to get off.
That
And
part.
And then, why did you not tell her that at the beginning, when y'all had the meeting, when y'all had her to fill in at the last minute for mail? Come on, Maurice, you're just trifling. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
well, Maurice is trifling, Marceau's trifling too, so that was just shady.
Very shady. Very shady. No filter. Did you comment on these scenes?
No, I did not. Um, I like the scene with Stormy's husband and his mother.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was really nice and genuine. So we could understand a little bit about his perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You know, about not wanting the kid, but like his mother suggested to him, he should sit down and talk to his wife and tell her, his fears on that.
Mm-hmm.
And with the expo thing, with Maurice and his son, yeah, I think Maurice should spend a little more time with his son like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, yeah, Kimmy should, show the boy a little bit more affection or whatever. But basically, when Maurice decided was to bring his son, over for his son to live with him, he didn't sit down and talk to Kimmi about it, really. He just tell her that he's just going to bring Monster to come live with us. So does he know that since she already raised her son and her son was old, that did she wanted to take care of another kid and have that added responsibility to be added on her?
Well, no filter. Let me add this.
Mm-hmm.
When you get with somebody, whether you're a male or a female, and they have children that are under 18, and even if they really have children above, but I'll stick with the under 18 right now, you're getting a package deal. And so whether all of your kids are in their 20s and moved out or whatever their story is, you getting a package deal. So it's not about that's what you want to do, that's what you signed up for. I cannot get with somebody right now and they tell me I got a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 12-year-old. And even if they staying with their mom and their mom is going to primarily raise them, then I got to think about the child support. If that's what, even if you're not formally paying child support through a court, I still got to think about X amount of dollars from our household has got to go to that household and those 3 kids. And I also have to think about, no, I don't just have 1 kid to put through college. We got 4.
Right.
You can't get with somebody and then act like their past doesn't exist, or you shouldn't get with that person. And that you also have to think to yourself, not saying I want anything to happen to anybody, but at any given time, something happened to their mother, then those 3 kids got to come up in here and I got to raise them.
I think what No Filter may be saying is that Maurice did not have the conversation.
He did, though.
Fully with Kimmi. I think she's saying fully with Kimmi before he had made the ultimate decision.
But he did, though, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because Kimmi said out of her own mouth that I had to play nice because Maurice wanted Maurice Jr. to come over here. So she constantly from the beginning was taking the hit and allowing everything to go down that she felt was going down with Kiuwha, because that was preparation for Kiuwha to say, yes, Maurice Jr. can come stay with us full time. So no, I watched the show and I hear every word that came out of her mouth. She said, I always was taking the hit because if I didn't take the hit, Kiuwha might have said no to Maurice Jr. coming to stay with us full time. So she knew what she was signed up for. Did she think Monster was going to come there and raise himself?
No. I don't know. I need to be a fly on the wall when Maurice had that conversation with
yeah, because I remembered when they did, he told her, listen, I'm getting Monster to come live with us. And that was it. That's how he had the conversation.
No filter. I need you to go back and watch last week's episode because she clearly sat there when they was talking in that living room. She said, I had to play nice because you wanted Kiuwha to say yes to Maurice coming here. So if she didn't want that, then don't play nice, because then Kiuwha would have said no. No, listen, Kimmi knew exactly what she signed up for. And when he came there, did you think that you was not going to have to play mom? You're the one in the household. Surely you got to play mom.
Right.
And listen, even if that, when there's couples that are married and the wife, even though they're married and all of those kids in that household is between that couple, the wife is the one taking them to school, getting them off the bus, doing this, doing that, and the husband is doing whatever it is he is doing.
Right.
So it's not an unusual thing. I feel like she's more in her feelings because it's not her biological son. That is my opinion.
Now, you know, she made that comment. Remember?
Right. She did. Let me tell you something. When a kid walks through my door under my watch, I wouldn't care if I gave birth to them, if somebody else gave birth to them. When I cook some chicken or whatever it is I'm cooking, everybody going to sit down and eat the chicken. If I tell everybody it's bedtime, everybody's going to go take a bath. I'm not going to tell my kid, you go take a bath, you clean up and not care about the rest. Everybody's taking a bath and it's bedtime. Okay. If I go outside this door and we going to dinner, everybody coming to dinner. And I'm not going to ask you for the $10 or the $20 that I spent on your kid at the dinner.
Right.
I decided to go to dinner. I got everybody. Come on, let's go to dinner.
Right.
So my thing is, and I will do that for a stranger. I definitely will do it for, if you want to call it my bonus son, my stepson, or whatever. When we go to the store to buy the sneakers, everybody up in this house is going to get some sneakers. And if we don't have money for everybody, then ain't nobody getting
Nobody's gonna get them. Right.
And that's probably part of the reason why Monster is feeling uncomfortable too. He's probably feeling that.
Yeah,
from he's
Yes,
feeling that.
Diva, that is all right, but the primary responsibility still lies with the father and mother. The primary.
You can say that, but wherever the person is at 100% of the time, for the most part in the household, then you are responsible.
Both of
If the mother never sent a nickel to my house, your kid is still going to get a sneaker, a pair of jeans, a shoe. When I go to book the trip for Disney, your kid is going to be on a plane with us.
Right.
Now I will always call that mother and say, listen, okay, but I'm not going to base what I do just because you don't do XYZ. See, I don't change who I am and how I operate because somebody's not doing whatever. If I signed up to be with my husband and my husband got 3 kids and I knew this ahead of time, I always think to myself, who. There was this one person, this is real life, I'm not making up a story here, that, wanted to date me or whatever the case may be. And he said, if we merge and buy a house, I would get a house for 4 bedrooms so that even at the end of the day, we going to have one, your son going to have one. If my mother ever needs to come live with us, she have one. And if your mother ever needs to come, your mother will have a room too. That's the type of people I like to deal with.
That's love.
That part right there, Ronita, right? Because I'm not dealing with this nonsense. This is yours, that's mine, or whatever. Why are we merging but we separate?
Right.
Why are we merging but I'm going to love my mother more than I love your mother?
Right.
Why are we merging if you're going to welcome my mother in the house but I won't welcome your mother in the house? Like, that don't make no sense. Okay? And when we go to buy gifts, if I get my mother this Louis bag, I'm not going to get it for my mother unless I got money to get your mother one too. But that's the way I do.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, when you sign up, and this is a message to all the stepmoms out there and all of that, when you sign up, be bigger than that, because this ain't about you, it's about those kids.
Right.
And what you don't want at the end of the day is to put a kid out there in the world that is jacked up because you were so low vibrational that you want to think about all this other nonsense and not the kid. I'm not about to bring no kid in my house and not do right by them. And and let's be honest, Kiuwha doesn't have the money. And I'm going to tell you why I know that, because Maurice pretty much said it over and over again, right? In a different way. Even when he wanted Kiuwha and the husband to come stay there with them, and he said he would kind of foot the bill till they got on their feet. So my thing is this. If I know his mother don't have it like that, I'm going to try to get blood from a rock. Nah, I'm not going to do that. I must be like, you know what? But I will always, regardless of how she felt about me, because I signed up for this, I'm always going to show her respect.
Right.
Say, this is what I'm doing. This is Monster struggling right now. You want to call him, you want to FaceTime or whatever. Because see, you know what? If I got my man, I ain't about to be jealous about no other chick.
Exactly.
I'm not.
Bingo.
Come on now, Diva.
Your son, okay, your son can have pictures of you all over his room. I'm not about to be jealous about no other chick and my man here with me. Okay? I'm not going to do that. So my thing is, I just say, hands down, always do right by the kids.
That's right. That's right.
That's it, and that's
now
all.
You said a mouthful there.
Mm-hmm.
But I know y'all probably have already talked about this scene. But the scene with Kimmi and Kiuwha act like she was running things.
Well, because she was. Yes, she was. Let's be clear, Juanita. She was, and you know why she was?
Yeah, she was bold.
Yeah, because Kimmi let her know where she stood. Kimmi
Right.
let her know that she's still top biller. Kimmi let her know that even though you the wife, I'm the wife, you the one that reigns on top as the queen.
Mm-hmm.
You the queen bee, and I come second.
And she was sitting up there acting like it too.
She was.
Mhm.
She was pressed. And this was Kiuwha. Kiuwha sat up high.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, she ain't touched that pasta.
She sat up in a
The look on her.
She sat up like she was the queen.
And
She was
change the look
unbothered.
on her face.
That
She
part
didn't
tell
twitch.
you she was unbothered. She didn't
Mhm.
flinch, she didn't shake. And like, let me tell you what she really trumped her. And I said, well, that girl trumped her right there. She said, I ain't do no interviews.
Right.
I didn't do this, I didn't do that. And you wanted me to stop the chatter. She said, I ain't know how that's how you felt, but if that's how you felt, then all right.
And they said, how was I supposed to know how you felt?
That part. Super unbothered. Super unbothered. Now, honey, you ain't see her flinch. Super unbothered. Did I skip anybody before we move on?
Girlfriend didn't break a sweat.
Didn't break a sweat.
I haven't went yet, Diva.
Okay, go ahead. In my opinion,
Maurice and Maurice Jr. I liked it, but it showed me that that little boy has not been getting the love and affection that he wanted. It looked like he was so uncomfortable, and for him to ask for lunch out, and that was the big thing. Like almost pulling at my heartstrings, because let me tell you something, my kids, they ask for all kind of stuff when they want to, but I just felt like this little boy, he needed somebody to show him that he mattered to them, that they cared for him. And so I was glad that he was taking time out. Now, please don't do this one time before the cameras and then don't do it again, because then I'm going to look at you differently. The scene was with Courtney and his mom. I love the scene, but I need Courtney to heal that little boy that was missing his daddy. I need him to heal. Go get some counseling now. You grown. Heal that little boy, because that's that little boy inside of him saying, Daddy wasn't here for me, but you a grown man now. You can control your own destiny. You don't want to be like that. You don't want your kids to grow up like that. You got to be grown folks and talk about your feelings, because I remember him saying before that the issue was, Stormi was, bleeding and everything, and he didn't want, to see her like that. So whatever issues he's having within himself, I need him to hear that, because it's like that little boy is crying out saying, I don't want to be hurt no more. And so hurt people hurt people.
But you know what though, in my opinion, sometimes you don't know that it's still bothering you until somebody says something and it triggers you, right? So his mother said something, because one, let me tell you what I do agree with Courtney on. I understand his fear when it comes to Stormi. He loves his wife. He watched his wife almost die giving birth, right? And then he has this thing about, having a surrogate or whatever. And I think that there's more to that story of her just not wanting to have a baby, and him just not wanting her to have another baby. But like I said, I really appreciate his mother, because his mother supported him and supported Stormi at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you saying like, go get help. He needs to heal that little boy. He does need counseling, but I think also that since he survived those moments when he was younger, since he is thriving right now as a man, right? I think he didn't even realize how much that past was still hurting him until he sat there and he broke down and cried.
I agree with you, Diva, but now that he knows, he got to heal. Because let me tell you something, the worst thing you can do is have somebody tell you that, okay, yeah, and get yourself help for it. A lot of people, we take in what people say and then we go back out and do the same thing over again. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want this to be a continuation of a cycle. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Like his mama done pointed it out to him. I hope that he's receiving it and he's going to get that help and heal that little boy inside of him. Because sometimes you don't know how your past is affecting your future. You know what I'm saying? Right. But now that his mama has put that on him, I'm hoping and praying that he will go and seek, the help, whether it's spiritual, physically, whatever. He needs to heal that little boy that's inside of him that's telling him you didn't have a daddy there for you. Your daddy didn't care about you. Whatever feelings he's dealing with, he needs to heal that inside himself so he can be a better, better for himself and better for everybody else as well. Let me tell you something. Marsau, you crossed the line. Now, now make me feel like I want to see if y'all remember the same thing I remember. When they got the group together, none of the people that were at the meeting was paying $100, right? It was only the other people that was.
I believe. Well, that's a problem. She never really clarified.
Okay, so this is my thing. If y'all brought Stormi in at the 11th hour to take meal spot, and you said you weren't charging nobody that was, gonna be hosting or whatever, then why are you coming to Stormi telling me she owe you $100? Why wasn't that discussed when you asked her to step in for meal? Like, make that make sense. Let me tell you something. When you're doing business, you got to have a business mind. Right. And that's the problem with Marsau. He doesn't have a business mind. And that's why Tisha had to come in and save his company from going under, is because he don't have that business mind. Now, he need to stay in his place and do what he do best. And obviously, that's just building houses. So you stay and build some houses and let Tisha be the brains for you, okay? So you don't look stupid on TV.
He's greedy. That's what that is. He's greedy.
Yeah, thank you. Pacino rules, the Scott 1.0, the Scott's 1.0 are unclear about a number of things.
100%.
That is facts, okay? That is facts. Listen, guys, overall, did I miss anybody? Okay, wonderful. Overall, you know what? I think it was a good show. It had a lot of moments that, they could have delved into a little bit more. I think that Carlos King is missing a great opportunity. I feel like we can stick with this cast, but he just needs to have a sit down with them, and he needs to just revamp some things and do it differently. The kind of manual you had me cracking up when I was laying in my bed last night thinking about last night's show, but just like Kenya Moore, how she gets stuck on things. I feel like this whole cast is stuck on in a vicious cycle, repeating the same thing over and over and over again. I get it. Unfortunately, if you do the statistics about marriage, a lot of people get divorced. And I think Martell and Mel have been going through this for a long time. I want them to move over and turn the page already. I want them to get to a different point situation. And I get it, at the moment of filming, there was a back and forth in the court or whatever, but we need to see something new. We need to see the recovery moment. We need to see them either, can play nice for the moments they're around each other, but I'm kind of over it. So it's like I'm over a lot of stuff because I feel like I'm in a vicious cycle from the moment they started Love and Marriage Huntsville to this point right now. We're seeing the same thing. It's just playing out a little bit differently. So hopefully they can have their recovery moment, but there are some lessons to learn from the show. And I also think that too, when it comes to Stormi, and it comes to a lot of people, right? Everybody have this side and that side, but it's like, are you going to balance out your sides? Are you going to let this one rise above the other one, whatever this one is versus the other one, right? Because we all have that person in us, but do you let that person show up, especially when you're running a business, which Stormi has? Stormi, I think business, period. I think Stormi needs help that she doesn't even realize she needs help on. Right? Because she said that her husband and whatever workers she had were preparing a huge order that her husband had to drive somewhere. I think Stormi and her husband don't understand that they're bigger than they ever thought they was going to be. And that now they need some automation. They need a warehouse. They need an expert to step in so that she's not the one and her husband's not the one doing all the stuff that they did when they started the beginning in her kitchen.
Right.
They're stuck in that kitchen mindset, but they got a Walmart and $1 million business, and they got to get out of that kitchen mindset. And I'm praying for her because legit, when you have a chick that started from zero and got all the way up to this point, I don't want to see her lose it. And she said, they get a fine every time they're late and they don't fulfill the order on time. I'm hoping to see her win. I want all of them to win, actually. And when I get on and recap these shows, I recap what I see and I have my feelings about it. But for real, I want to say this: I want all of them to win.
Right.
I want all of them to win. And I really wish they would get it together. And I wish they would understand how to play the game. You got an amazing platform. Do the thing right. Sell your business right. And show the face of the people. Listen, in front of the people, I would never let them see me sweat. When that camera said cut, I'd be like, girl, you better get out my face because I don't even speak to you like that. That's what I would do. Word. You gotta know. What's that Dawn song? What's his name? Know how to hold.
You got to know how to hold them, know how to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run.
Come on now, Ronita, right? When they put that camera in my face, I would make up with Stormi. I would give him a show. And literally, as soon as they say cut, I said, girl, you got my number, but don't call me if it ain't got nothing to do with this show. That's it. That's it. You got to know how to play the game. Listen,
right.
if y'all want to say this is work, in real time, you're not really going to sit there and tell your coworker each and every one of them that you don't like them. You play the game and you do what you got to do. So at the end of the day, you get your check and your bonus and your raises and whatever else. But then when you go home and talk to them, you be like, girl, no, she get on my nerves.
That's what Karen Huger does. That's what Grand Dame does.
That part.
That's what she does. Kenya Moore plays it well too.
Yes, she does.
You don't like her, but she played it real well.
She played real well. And you know what? I have another level of respect for Kenya because no matter how she felt about Sonya, she came to that event and she literally did the darn thing. She did. And Sonya had a low expectation of 50,000. And Kenya said, no, we're going to raise 100,000. I like that side of Kenya. And every now and then you see it. But then every now and then she take it all the way back down to the gutter.
Get back shady.
Yep. But listen, guys, thanks for being here. It was a good Tuesday. I love recapping this show. I'm trying to see if I can do Love and Marriage Detroit. It's a good show, but again, I think it's a bunch of couples that came up there with their marriage in trouble already, and now they're on the TV just making a mess of their lives. But that's why I'm like, I'm on the fence about whether I want to do it or not because there's so much mess going on, and I don't know if my soul can take it. But
my soul, you won't break my soul.
Juice, we gotta talk.
Yes, call me this
week. A little busy for me. Because I gotta I'm doing a Pretty in Pink luncheon for my girlfriend. But we gotta talk because we're gonna connect and do another show. But listen, guys, love y'all. Thanks for being here. Juice is, I think, our only one on the. Oh no, sorry. Juice, and in my opinion, have a channel. Juice Radio, just like you see it on there, you can go connect to a channel, like and subscribe. And in my opinion, has a channel also. And I think that's everybody on here tonight that has a channel. So listen, guys, thanks for supporting. I love y'all for being here. See you in the next video. Bye, y'all. You said come to Detroit. I'm trying to think. I think I've been in Detroit. Okay, if I come that way, I'm going to let y'all know. But I'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.